Yo, welcome back to my channel. This is the last Snow. You call me Snow for short. And we are here with another deck profile. This deck profile actually went second place on another tournament at Truly Urban Locals right here in the Bronx, New York, at my city. So I wanted to give you guys this deck profile. I changed a couple of cards that I went first place with last week at this locals and tweaked it out a little bit more. I definitely like this deck profile more than what I won first place with. The transition was kind of, not as smooth, but I got the hang of playtesting a lot. So I'm definitely happy about the change that I made. And, you know, it was a four round tournament, 13 players. Definitely won the first 3 rounds, and then the championship round, I came out short because of the pilots. I didn't get to see my pilots and everything else. So it is what it is because it's part of the game. That's one thing about the game that you really can't change is that no matter how perfect your deck is, you can still break. I saw it plenty of times in a lot of matchups, and my matchup and other people's matchups. So definitely, it's part of the game. You're gonna get frustrated, but it is what it is because of the way that you set up everything between your life, the mulligan, um, the draw power, which you don't have a lot of draw power. There's no searching, so it's like you got to deal with whatever you have in your hand and just go by what comes out the next, either from your shields or or the next turn. So going into the deck profile, second place, you're gonna see the changes. If you've seen the first place video, there's my second place video. Definitely love this deck profile, so we're gonna get to it. We're gonna start with the pilots. Didn't change much about it. I got 4 of the Kira Yamato. It's +2 in attack, +1 in health, and every time you swing with the unit that's connected to this, it gets -2 on something on the board, which is definitely good. As a white pilot, there's a lot of units in my deck that actually can connect to this, and if they don't, it gets the boost power, right? Next up, I'm playing 4 of the Amaro Ray, best pilot in the game because once you pilot it with something with a unit on the board, you get to rest a unit on your opponent's side of the field that has the health of 5 or less, and automatically being serious if the unit on the board has not gotten damaged, that means almost every card, every unit in the game right now will get rested by this card, especially late game when you try to apply pressure on the board or attacking your opponent directly. It gets a rest a blocker, so you can just avoid being blocked and just apply as much pressure as you can. It's the same stat line as Kira, which is a +2 +1. So I definitely like it playing 4 off when it comes to these. I used to play 12 pilots. I went down to 11. So I'm playing 3 of the Bandager Links. You guys already know what it does. Stat line is a +2 +2 on attack and health. And if you got the pilot connected to the right link, you get to draw a card. But honestly, I might be going down to 2 and switching up one of these for Soletta Mercury. It definitely looks like it's gonna be a card that I could really use. I found myself in a lot of situations that, this card, that I have one resource up and I can't use the Archangel effect to restand the blocker because I only have one, or I can't use the new card that I got in my deck that I can't restand something else because of one, or I can summon an extra body or extra block on the board because I only have one. So let up Mercury, every time it swings, you get to restand a resource on the board. And that gives you 2, or maybe 3, or maybe 4, depending on the situation that you in. It will help you build something more by getting that extra resource standing again. So those are my pilots. I had 12. Now I'm down to 11. Put this over here. Next up, we're going to talk about bases. I'm still running the same bases. I'm playing 3 of the Archangels. Once per turn, you tap 2 resources. You can restand one of your blockers. That's definitely a good thing. And then playing 2 of the white base. Tap 2, and depending on how many units you have on the board, you get to summon a 3/3 token, a 2/2 token, or a 1/1 token, depending on how much units you have on the board. So it's definitely good to even have. So a lot of people is actually playing 4 and 1, right? Or they're playing 3 of these and 2 of these. But the way my deck is built, I'd rather have it the way I have it now is 3 and 2. or a lot of people just playing 4 bases, or they try to split 3 and 3. I feel like 6 bases a little too excessive because then you're gonna find yourself bricking. Like one of the things that I said earlier, too many bases on hand will get you in a brick situation. So 5, I feel like it's good. 4, you kind of cutting it close because they will apply a lot of pressure, and 4 cards to your 50. It's kind of dangerous to just play 4. So I feel like 5 is a reasonable count ratio, right? Now off to the command cards. I used to play. You'll see what I was playing before, but I'm definitely playing when it comes to draw power. I still have it the same. I still have 3 of the overflowing affection, and I still have 3 of the show of resolve. 3 and 3. The reason why I still got it at 3 and 3, I found a lot of situations that people found themselves in a position that they bricking. They got too many draw power. So what you're doing, you're drawing, and you're not even noticing that your opponent is up building body on the boards. So they can start applying pressure. The minute you this is a disadvantage early game because if you got a good hand, you have to discard a card in your hand that you might need it in the future. And this is just sacrificing 3 energy when you can actually summon a body. You're actually gonna draw 2 and not summon a body. Now you're leaving yourself wide open. So I feel like 3 and 3 is fine. You guys can play 4 and 2 or 4 and 4, however you guys want it. But I feel like I'm comfortable with the ratio that I have it on right now. And last but not least, this is a new card that I have in my deck. 2 of the striker pack is definitely good because if it's coming out from your shields, you get to summon a blocker that it's 3/3 blocker, or if you just tap 2, you can summon 2 different blockers. One is a 4/2 blocker or a 2/4 blocker depending on the situation. So I found myself really using this because of the extra unit on the board. So if this game burst from your shield in your opponent's turn, that means next turn that blocker, if it survives, it can actually swing. So that's actually good as well. So let's go on to the units itself. I'm playing early game 4 of the Zords. You guys already know it's a blocker that can only attack bodies on the board. I'm still seeing a lot of people trying to swing for shields and base. You can't. This blocker only attacks board units. It's a good stat line. 3/2. Playing that 4 because you gotta have early game because there's a lot of rush going on in the meta right now. A lot of people is going by Gen Cons, tournaments, and deck profiles. So you gotta really adjust to that. All right. Then I'm playing early game as well. Gun Lyrith. It's just one turn extra unless you go second and you already got the extra EX resource. So you can still summon this at 2. Stat line is 2 and 4. That means he can actually survive for more than one swing, depending on the body that I actually summoning. Especially if you're playing against an opponent that likes going rush, this is actually gonna help out because he can actually survive off of the those small swings because his health is at 4. Right. Let's put this to the side. Next up, this is a new card that I actually added to the deck, and I definitely like it a lot now, and it helps out a lot. I played 2 of the Strike Rogue. It is a level 3 2 cost. It's a attack of 3, health of 2. So basically, it does once per turn tap 1 resource and choose one of your blockers on the board that's rested and restand it. This is basically having 2 extra bases, Archangel bases, but instead on the board because Archangel base does have to be tapped by 2 to restand a body, but this is actually only tapping 1 resource to restand another body. So the longer he stays on the board alive, the much harder your opponent is gonna be in swinging over your units. Because if you have Archangel and this, and you got 3 energy, you got 3 resources still up, you could definitely tap, restand 2 of your blockers that actually just swung to restand them again, and then you got them for defensive mode. Right, so definitely a good card to have. I feel like 2 should be fine. Anything outside of that, I feel like you're a little bit too excessive about it. Next up, I definitely love this card. I had to put it at 4, maybe change it, but I feel like with the rush down that a lot of people is actually playing, I feel like this is definitely a good card. Which it's 4 of the Rezos, is a level 3 2 cost, attack of 4, health power of 3. Basically, he can run through any early blockers. He'll probably die, maybe not, but he can actually run through any early game units. And then, if anything, he could definitely go towards base, your early game base, which is a health of 3, goes over it and actually knock it down. So that's definitely good. So this is my early game package because you got to keep up with it. Blue and white likes to play mid game to late game. You got to change that up real quick. Next up, I'm playing 2 of the Gundam, the OG Gundam, level 4, 3 cost. I never changed it. I would love to put this at 3. Maybe drop the Rezu for 3 and actually put in this at 3 as well, because this card is definitely good because he gets Mara Ray it does come in handy. So actually having this to Mara Ray rest the body on the board. He gets a swing. If he takes damage, he recovers 2 at the end of the turn. And at the same time, he gives when paired, not linked, when paired, he's giving +1 to every single unit on the board on your turn. That's definitely great because now if they got a base at 5, Rezu is actually a 5 now if he's actually on the board. So loving it, loving it, loving it. Next up, I'm playing 2 of the Perfect Strike Gundam. I like this card in certain situations. I feel like his deploy effect doesn't really activate for me because it a lot of the units that I'm facing against either KO'd, already removed from play, or they have more than 1 health. This actually removes tokens because rush decks like the Xeon Rush decks and everything else like that, they have the 1 health tokens. You could just bounce them back, so you're basically avoiding having those small swings doing damage. So it's definitely good at 3 costs, and the stat line is definitely good at 4/4. If you actually put it with Kira, it can actually avoid summoning sickness, and now his stat line will be 6/5, which is definitely good. He could go through any unit if possible, and it's a blocker as well. Next up, I'm playing one of the best blockers in the game. I'm playing 4 of the Airstrike Gundam, level 5, 4 cost. It's a blocker, stat line of 4/4, and when paired with a level 4 or higher pilot, it gets to choose 1 unit with 4 or less HP and return it to the hand. So you could definitely slow down your opponent's aggression on their turn, or if they have blockers, you could just bounce it back and just start applying pressure. Maybe Archangel or maybe Strike Rogue is on the board. You can restand them again. So that's definitely good as well. So yeah, this is definitely a card that you want to play 4 of. Next up, the best blocker I feel like it's in the game. 2 of the Freedom Gundam. Level 7, 5 cost is a blocker. And when paired, once per turn, doesn't just have to be this unit itself. But once per turn, when you pair a pilot with a unit or one of your white units, right? Choose one enemy unit. It gets -2 on attack power. So that's definitely good. Stat line is 4 and 6. 4 is not that bad, but if you got a pilot with it, Kira, it will put it at 6, 7. That's definitely a strong blocker. The health is gonna be so hard to knock it down on a 1 to 2, maybe 3 swings, depending on how aggressive you want to swing at this. But just imagine swinging and restanding this. It won't be able to get bounced back unless the health power is actually down. But on the aggression side, you can actually swing, restand him. He's already at 6, or he could be at 7, depending on what you pair him up with. So that's definitely good as well. And last but not least, I had to cut this down to 2. I feel like 3 was a little bit excessive because, like I said, you want to avoid bricks. There's a lot of bricks in this game, and you need to avoid it. Let's go. Last 2 cards in the game. A deck to actually hit 50. I'm playing 2 of the Unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode. Level 7, 6 cost. You guys already know. The first main effect is not going to work because, as you can see, I'm not playing the Unicorn Gundam that actually gets a pop by this to play this for free. Because I feel like it doesn't really survive. A lot of people already know what that does. So they'll try to apply as much pressure as they can to take that body off the board. So I'd rather just avoid it. Get it out the way. I needed to get more early bodies into the deck because I want to match up to, like, if I'm playing against aggressive deck, I have early bodies in the game to actually do so. Then mid-range, because by the time I get my mid-range bodies on the board and maybe I don't have a pilot, they already swung at me like about 3-4 times and I'm already in a threats. I'm already in a position that I could probably lose the game. So we cannot just rely on mid and late game. We have to learn how to control the game at the beginning of the game. So get some small bodies in your deck. You can add blockers. You can add whatever you want. But heavy loads of power of these is the it's not as good because you could definitely draw into them. So your hand could get a little bit bricky. I still got Bandage and Link, so if I link Bandage and Link with this, I get to draw a card, and then he becomes a stat line of 7 and 6, 7 attack, 6 health, which is not that bad. And every time he swings, he gets to rest the body on the board, which is definitely great because you can start applying pressure depending on your opponent's units on the board or health. You just want to rest the bodies and apply pressure there, or if you want to go on aggressive mode and rest one of their blockers and just continue applying pressure to your opponent's life, then you can definitely do so. So that is definitely my deck profile, guys. If you guys like it, this is the deck profile I actually went second with. Would I change anything in my deck? Yes, I definitely did say that will change probably like one or two pilots and add something a little bit different. Maybe a Gundam, drop Rezo to 3 and put a Gundam, OG Gundam at 3 and 3. So I'm still debating on what to do. But I like this deck because I definitely went. If you look at all of my matches, I went 3-0 on the first 3 rounds and the championship round. As you can see, when you get the chance, look at the championship round. I lost because I didn't get to see none of my pilots. None of my pilots. There's nothing I could do about it. He had rush down. I had bodies, but the problem is that he started doing pierce damage. He saw all his pilots, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. Just gotta build your deck a little bit better into not adding too many pilots into your deck because then you're gonna break. Not adding too many big bodies because then you're gonna break. Not adding too many early game because then you'll gas out. Because then late game, you're not gonna be able to withstand swinging over certain blockers on the board or any bodies on the board. So definitely got to think about that as well. But thank you guys. This is my second place deck profile. Excuse me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and just like, share, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely comment below on what you guys think I should do next because I definitely want to do extra deck profiles. So if you guys are interested, just let me know, and I see you guys in the next one. Latest.